brief inputs regarding the Maritime India Summit 2021. This is the second edition of such a summit being organized in India, and it is being organized from 2nd to 4th of March 2021. The important highlight of this event is it is essentially woven around Atmanirbhar Bharat. That is the byline for the event. And as you are all aware, India has one of the longest coastlines, that is about 7,500 kilometers, and we handle about 70% of trade in value terms. Okay. This summit is going to be inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, and the event is supposedly to be done for 3 days. And another important highlight of this event is that about 9 states so far have also confirmed participation in this, and of which I am glad to inform you that the state of Goa, represented by the government of Goa, is also taking part in this Maritime India Summit. Maritime India Summit is an excellent platform for collaborating not only within India but outside India, partnering with various countries, trying to explore and exchange knowledge and opportunities amongst member countries and also amongst member partners. Friends, the Honorable Prime Minister is also going to release the Maritime India Vision for 2030, followed by the launch of Sagarmala, Sagar Tat Samriddhi Yojana, Earth Ganga program, and also National Logistic Portal, Marine Portal. The Honorable Prime Minister is also going to release a compendium of investable projects and launch a scheme for promotion of flagging of merchant ships in India. Needless to be told that with such a vast canvas, there is definitely bound to be a flow of investment opportunities in various sectors such as shipbuilding, ship repair, ship recycling, also into inland waterways, leveraging it as a unique mode of transport, coastal shipping, hinterland connectivity and multimodal logistics, port-led industrialization, maritime skill development, maritime financing and insurance, which definitely gives us an idea that there is going to be a slew of activities which could benefit n number of partners. This event is to be attended by so far at least 42 countries have given their confirmations or have expressed their interest for participating in this event. It is also going to see participation from policy planners, senior government officials, domestic and international investors, sector specialists and experts, ship line owners, and also representatives of major ports from across the world. As I've told you, this is a 3-day event, and the final day, that is on 4th of March, it is actually designated as Chabahar Day to focus exclusively on the development of Chabahar as a maritime hub for trade with Afghanistan and the international North-South transport corridor countries. Government has also identified 2 dedicated themes for Chabahar Day, being development of port infrastructure, unleashing opportunities, and boosting business through trade promotion and regional connectivity. I am also glad to inform you that on the Chabahar Day, representation from various countries including Afghanistan, Iran, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and few other countries have already expressed their interest to participate. Not only their interest to participate, what is more important is that the ministerial level participation, that is the ministers from these countries are participating in the event. That speaks very high of the day and the event. Friends, as I have told you, Government of Goa has also taken this opportunity to showcase its opportunities, to invite investments, to also advance its opportunities for providing employment. Thereby, on the 3rd of March 2021, between 3 p.m. to 3:45 p.m., Government of Goa is having a dedicated session on this day. In this event, that is the Maritime India Summit, a number of MOUs are being signed. These MOUs are between B2B partners and in some cases G2B partners. The process is underway and there is a huge interest that is shown. As far as Marmugao Port Trust is concerned, we are also working on to sign about at around 20 MOUs with various partners, and I am hopeful that this summit is going to bring in not only a knowledge, transfer of knowledge, sharing of knowledge, but also give us an opportunity to invite investments in a big way. As I have said, these 3 days have a number of plenary sessions wherein specialists from various sectors and subjects are addressing. This platform also has exhibitions and stalls, and the unique feature of this year's Maritime Investment Summit is it is actually a digital summit. given the COVID conditions, all of this is being made possible through a digital media, and I am sure you would also be wanting to participate in this, and I would take this opportunity to invite through you all friends who are related to or concerned with the port sector, or who have an interest to work in the port sector. Event is, as I told, is digitally placed, and the web page, it is already posted on the web page with a web page, and the web address is www.maritimeindiasummit.in. I repeat, www.maritimeindiasummit.in. I would request you to follow the web page and also to enable through you as many people as possible to register into this, so that you would not miss the opportunity of taking part in this event. And another very important thing is the registration is totally free of cost, so one should not miss this opportunity to get as much information and knowledge as possible through this event. With that, I think I come to an end, and I am ready to take your questions.
See on that front as of now.
I would definitely take that question, but I would appreciate issues related to Maritime India Summit first, but I am not going to skip that. Definitely I will take it, but because you have asked, I will reply this, but I would request other members to initially take give me questions on MIS and then subsequently other things. Okay, with regard to what you have said, I can only say that Mormugao Port Trust always works within the domains of the rules and regulations laid by the Pollution Control Board authorities. We have abided by it in the past, and we would abide by that in future too. Thank you.
Participating in this summit and all, how this summit is going to help local people as well as the state in COVID situation, as you have mentioned, there is economic decrease or downfall. Okay, so how this Maritime India Summit is going to give a push to the economic front of Goa, and also local people, whether is it going to generate any employment to the local people, and any benefits, are there any benefits to the local people?
Good one. I appreciate your contextual question. As I have said, Maritime India Summit, one facet of this summit is also skill development, which inherently aims at providing employment, and investment into this state would obviously mean increase in the GDP for the state, directly or indirectly, and also giving an opportunity for employment. Obviously, I am sure that this would definitely help Goans and the state also. Other than this, as you have said, the whole world is in a slump now because of COVID. In such a situation, it is all the more important that we do get the first movers advantage by conducting such events, so that the world turns towards India for better investment.
many means because of COVID, many these economic sectors are going down. Okay, you have said that by having such a summit, you said you want to promote and it is going to help the state government. So, being MPT being a major port, can people of Goa see MPT as a savior on an employment front, on an economic front also? Because most of the port related cargoes which are coming, it is indirectly or directly helping government to sustain economically also. So MPT can be seen as a savior, because most of as he has mentioned, most of the NGOs and most of the non-governmental organizations, they have so much of restrictions, so much of complaints about the MPT. But in fact, can MPT be seen as a savior in such situation?
I think it was also, I mean, it is the largest PSU in the state as of now, and it will continue to remain so. And as I have said, I do not see the NGOs or the questions raised as a threat to MPT. They are only doing their job as a watchdog. So it only helps us to be on our toes, to better ourselves and do good for the state. No issues.
Yeah. Sir, one more question. As you have mentioned that launching of Sagarmala will be held with the help of the Narendra Modi PM. So there are लोगों के मन में एक दुआ है, डाउट है अगर अबाउट द सागरमाला ऑफ जेटीज एंड वेरियस फिशिंग. तो उसके बारे में गोवा के जेटीज और बाकी के बारे में आप कुछ इन डिटेल बता सकते हो, क्योंकि वो पोर्ट के न्यूज हो गए या कुछ हो गए, उसके बारे में कुछ बता सकते हो आप?
See, I mean, this Sagarmala scheme, which is prevalent, basically it is a scheme wherein Ministry of Shipping tries to help fund other departments and other ministries and other governments also. So, Sagarmala scheme per se inherently is a scheme wherein Ministry of Shipping only gives 50% of the funding. Rest of the 50% of the funding has to be borne by the other partner. So whether it is Government of Goa or any other ministry or any other department, we always work in tandem with them. So I don't see any issue in that.
But will this Sagarmala project, there are some jetties which will be constructed along the Goa. So whether
Exactly, that is what I am saying. Even if we have to, I am not restricting myself only to jetties. That is what I wanted to tell you. Whether even if it is jetties, it is only after the state government gives its consent or its keenness to participate as a partner, only then this will happen.
But what are the plans of the NPT for Sagarmala? You are going ahead with these things.
We have a number of plans, but it is not that we have. It is not just sufficient for me to have plans. It is for the other side also to come up along with us. So if the Government of Goa is and all projects, whatever may be the project, will always be launched and executed only with the guidelines, under the guidelines that are prevalent in that state. So well within the domain of those guidelines only we work.
Be signing with various partners. Is that it includes any expansion of the port or something?
No, not at all. Expansion not in area wise. Our area is very limited. Whatever area it is there, activities can be different.
Thank you.
Yeah.
About what is going to stress more on ships recycling and ship repairs and all that. We had a Western India yard here earlier, and then there were talks with Cochin shipyard, and then we had projects in mind about the ropeway and the RoRo projects. Anything is happening on that front? Will this be a part of it? I mean,
Which one? Which activity?
this ropeway project or the RoRo project or
Those projects are already underway. For example, you have taken ropeway, you have cited ropeway as a case. So we are entering into an MOU with IPRCL, wherein they are going to do the feasibility study for ropeway. So that's an MOU with IPRCL.
So it is a part of this Maritime India Summit, or is it an individual port project?
No, see, I mean, it is not like individual port project ऐसा कुछ नहीं. That's a project between which we are about to take up. So we are getting into an MOU with a particular partner. So it can be part of it.
One more question which I have is recently there is this major ports authority bill that has been passed, and there is a lot of confusion in the minds that there are a lot of jurisdictions which will now come into the purview of the MPT. So some clarity, there have been noises around saying that this area is going to be taken over by the MPT and all that. So anything that you want to say on those grounds?
As I told you, in fact, my other friend has indirectly asked the same question, which you have directly asked. So, as I said, my limits are already defined. Whatever are my limits which are gazetted way back in Government of India, my limits will always remain the same.
So, but there are these things, speculations. There are speculations among the people that they say that in CZMP, draft CZMP 2021 plan also, there are fishing wards, fishing villages which has been shown, and the MPT port limit which has been marked recently, it is overlapping those this thing for fishing wards and all. So most of the people, if you have read today's Daily, so yesterday's Saint Jacinto Island locals, they gathered there and they were like a lot of outcry. They were saying that their houses and their chapels were not shown and all. So they have that fear among their minds. So can you answer to clear that doubts and fear among those people?
In fact, I tried to be very clear on that when I answered both those. Now you have reformatted it and again asked the same question. But in your question, you have used two specific words. You started with the word speculation. Speculation is always a speculation. It is not a fact, fundamentally. Second thing, recent mapping. There is nothing like recent mapping. What did I tell? I said that whatever was gazetted in Government of India's Gazette, that stands and will stand.
Sabanji has always been assuring Goans that the government will try their best to decrease the amount of coal transportation in Goa. As the chairman of MPT, where do you see this happening?
It is a statement given by the Honorable Chief Minister, and I am not authorized to give any inferences on his statement.
So, but as the chairman of MPT, do you see the increase or decrease in coal transportation in near future?
We work within a particular CTO that is issued by the Goa State Pollution Control Board. And we would never go beyond the CTO that is issued by the Government of Goa or Goa State Pollution Control Board. But our efforts would always be to diversify our cargo, to increase our capacity in every sector.